Hello and welcome to Frontier Mastery. And I'm Fib and Simon. I lead BD and digital assets for Super Team Canada. And I'm here with my lovely co-host, Simon.
Hello, my name's Simon. I'm the lead of Super Team Canada. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So why don't we start with just a brief overview of what is Frontier, what is Colosseum, and what are the opportunities?
Sure. So Colosseum is a global startup competition that has 2 cohorts per year. So every 6 months, they begin a competition where anybody in the world can sign up and compete for prizes or access to capital in their accelerator. So for this particular time around, there is $2.5 million in capital waiting to be deployed to the top 10 teams that win this competition, as well as an additional $250,000 in prizes, plus local sidetracks, $10,000 for any Canadian, and a whole bunch of other partners also put up a lot of funds available. So it is not necessarily a hackathon. We're not looking for a small weekend project. They, Colosseum, are looking for a founder with a real idea, a startup company that is looking for a potential $250,000 investment round. So think like, kind of like Shark Tank, what you see on TV. You're going to have to make a very quick, solid pitch on a very big idea and sell yourself to the Colosseum judges to win this competition. It's a very broad overview, lots I can go into there, but I think we're gonna get into it over the next 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, you covered
Nice.
a lot of the talking points.
Yes.
Excellent work.
Nice summary. Let's get into it.
So in terms of the submission, what does it take? What do teams need to do at the bare minimum to compete or submit to Colosseum?
Sure. So you do have an entire month, basically, to create these deliverables at the very end. Your final deliverables on May 11th by midnight Pacific or 3 a.m. here. We're usually here till 3 a.m. Some people are still working on their deliverables then. Your final deliverables are a 3-minute pitch video. It's recorded, so you can record it as many times as you want. You'll have basically 10 to 15 slides as you're walking through them. You're pitching your idea and yourself as a person to found this company. There will also be a second deliverable, which is a 3-minute technical video, just walking through, you've provably built some of the platform to show this is technically possible, and then a link to your GitHub. That is all you get to submit after a month of working, is a 3-minute pitch video, a 3-minute technical video, and a link to your GitHub. And these judges will be reviewing over 4,000 of these submissions over the course of a few weeks. So you really need to make sure that your pitch video and your pitch are as high as quality, because if your idea is great and your ambition is fantastic and you have it all down pat, if your 3-minute pitch video, even the first 30 seconds of your pitch video doesn't catch their attention, it's a wash in the sea of thousands of 3-minute pitch videos.
So get creative with the storytelling. But the bare minimum is just to record a video that explains what you're doing, and then the technical walkthrough, which is not just a demo, it's actually going through like what technical decisions did you make, why did you build it that way, showing the team how you think and how you think about the technical decisions, and also if you're thinking about, say, how it will scale and are you being lean and agile. So that's part of the technical walkthrough video. And you leaked a little bit, but we do have the announcement of the Canadian sidetrack coming out today.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it happens every year. We haven't announced who the partner is yet.
Yes.
But yes. That's coming out today. Stay tuned to our Twitter for that announcement this afternoon.
Yes. We do have one every time, so it's not a real leak, but
yes,
you'll find out
I'm a
more.
leaker.
And yeah, I'm interested in hearing, like, from your perspective, what was the most interesting or insightful thing that you heard from our talk with Nom last week? Nom is the founder of uh, Moonwalk
Hmm.
and Monkey DAO, and also a core contributor at Bonk.
Hmm.
We had a fireside chat with him last week talking about his perspective as an investor and as a serial founder. Um, what stood out for you in terms of his advice to founders?
Mm. This might not be the best thing to say, but the first thing that comes to mind from our talk with Noam is I joked about bad projects being submitted to Colosseum this time around and which things not to do as to submit. And I joked about how, oh, you shouldn't do another NFT marketplace because what, one, you know why, and two, because a few years ago everybody was building one and they all died and crashed and there's no focus on it. But I joked about it, but he was actually serious. You know, maybe there's something potentially that could come back now that has died off, but with the advancement of AI, maybe you bring a unique spin to some sort of different type of marketplace that doesn't exist yet. So the surprising thing to me was like, okay, well, we can revisit all of the winners from past Colosseums. All those winners are all public. So every single 6 months, you have 20 to 30 of the top projects that won all of these funds and all this attention for the accelerator. What actually took off and what didn't? And maybe you can find an idea and add your own spin to it that's coming up, and maybe that will catch some attention, and maybe there's something there. So like reiteration of old ideas with your own spin on it, and maybe add some AI into the mix and see what happens.
Yeah.
What stood out for you with our chit chat with Nam last week?
Mm, I mean, this is pretty standard and it's something I say all the time, but just getting feedback all
Mm.
the time, as much feedback as you can come out. I mean, we have a large number of people who are here at the build station in Toronto. You can talk to people, pitch your idea, hear what they think, find people who fit like your target user persona, your early adopter, and get them to test it out and just observe them using your product, or just try to understand better how they're currently solving the problem that you're looking to solve. But that was sort of one of his final points was just like keep getting feedback all the time.
User and user feedback.
User feedback and also just external feedback.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be many users. When you're trying to build your user database or your user base, it could just be 5 to 10 people in a group chat with you who are big supporters of you as a builder, and they're willing to kind of put in the extra 20 to 30 minutes a day every couple of days just to test out your latest iteration of your product and give you feedback. And just that small core group of people trying to give you as unbiased feedback as possible. If it's your parents and your brothers and sisters, they might not be able to be fully truthful with you. They might, depending on your family dynamic, but maybe try to find some people that might give you some unbiased feedback.
Yes, that's a good point. But yeah, you should go back and watch that interview as well if you're looking to go long term and try to raise for whatever you're building. It's a good perspective to get, and that was live on our Twitter last week, and it was recorded as well. So some key advice, we kind of touched on it, but build for a real user problem. Like, what are you actually solving? And one of the things I often see is that teams can't tell me what the problem is that they're solving for, or who they're solving it for. So who is your audience? Knowing what that looks like and not trying to do everything for everyone. And then once you can nail that down and communicate it, it makes the marketing side a lot easier. So in terms of marketing, I mean, this was originally a hackathon. It's evolved into more of a startup competition. So what should teams be doing on the marketing side?
Two things. Founder forward marketing is a huge thing across all industries right now. So you yourself can be communicating that you are coming to events like this on your timeline, if it's on LinkedIn, if it's on Twitter, saying that you're actually starting to build your project now. Because if you think about the final submission, they're going to backtrack through your socials to say, are they actively building a month in advance of the submission deadline, or are they rushing this the last few days and just submitting a project that they built in 3 days? They're looking for a track record on your personal, professional, public socials that you're actively engaged with the community, actively getting feedback, actively sharing what you're working on and sharing your experiences. The other thing is also your company or your project should also have an active social right now, and that can be a little bit framed a little bit differently with the voice of where it's being built from, sharing different experiences, launching, and then they will also look back to the past month of history of posts from that project's socials as well to see, is this person actively building and gaining an audience? Do they have 112 followers? Like, that's still an amazing establishment. Your first 100 followers, like it's pretty hard to kind of get things launched off the ground and have it be organic over the course of a month. So build a personal brand and personally being open about what you're building and when you're building it, and then build a professional business socials for the company or the idea that you're building. You can change the username here and there. You can change the PFP, but having the history of proof of work is definitely something they're going to be looking for. And I think there's actually like an official requirement on their website of submitting like a weekly update video of what they've been building. I think they're a little bit relaxed on that one, but they're looking for regular routine updates of what you're building and how you're building it.
Yeah, the update video, it is optional, but I mean, you don't have to do it every week either. I would recommend doing it because why not? You know, hop on for 60 seconds of your week and share what it is that you're working on this week and what's changed, what have you learned. And it gives you an opportunity to, if the judges were to go deeper into what you're building and want to kind of get a sense of you as a founder, because often they're really looking at the founder, the founding team, because ideas change, products change, teams pivot. So getting to see, for example, do you come forth with a scientific mindset? Are you being experimental in your approach and not assuming you know everything about the area you're building in? Which brings me to Colosseum Copilot.
Mm. I told Lenny about it today, actually.
Oh yeah,
Where are the videos to be posted? The weekly ones?
on the Arena platform.
On your Colosseum profile, in the submission, there is a place to put it. Yeah.
Copilot.
Copilot. Let's get into this. If you go to the Colosseum Frontier website right now and you register and you create a profile, which I think most of you have done in here, at the top there's a little button that says Copilot, and that is a Colosseum AI agent trained on the past 5,400 submissions to Colosseum over the past 4 years. So it knows, it's basically like a database of all the past submissions to Colosseum, what ideas have been submitted, which projects made it how far, which ones actually won, and it can give you feedback on your idea if you have something. If it's been submitted 50 times before and has lost every single time, it's probably an idea that you don't really want to move forward with unless you iterate on it in some special way. And there's also a bunch of other awesome things that it can do. You should definitely check it out. That'll be like your Copilot, your AI agent Copilot for Colosseum. To check it out. Did you end up checking it out this morning?
I just started and then lunch came in.
Yeah.
I got distracted.
That happens. Yeah, but check it out, download it. It can be as much of a friend to you as we can in giving you feedback and knowledge about the history of this startup competition. Is that good? Yeah, I think that covers it.
That covers it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found interesting that I read on Twitter, Joseph from Super Team Balkans posted a thread with his recommendations after participating in hackathons
Multiple times.
multiple times,
And winning twice.
doing quite well,
Yeah.
winning twice, and then supporting multiple other teams to win.
Yeah.
He took much more of the investor perspective. Like, I often suggest you want to stand out because there's thousands of submissions. How do you stand out, get creative, and stick in the judge's mind and really quickly hook someone in? And he brought forth more of like the fundraising perspective, which was don't give the judges a reason to say no. So looking for ways to like quell their doubts, which is a slightly complementary and yet opposite perspective. What did you think of that?
No, I thank you for bringing it up because that was actually probably one of the best ways for me to share with you something to look up right now. His name is Joseph. I forget his actual username, but I retweeted it about 2 weeks ago. If you scroll down the feed,
It's in our startup resources library.
which we can get to at where? Where do we find the startup resources library?
The Super Team Notion.
Notion.superteam.site.
Superteamca.site.
Yes. It's also available in our founders Telegram group, which you should all be in as well. It's pinned in there. She makes some excellent summaries of the resources available. But in there is Joseph's full experience, and probably the most valuable part of that thread is don't give them a reason to say no. And he lists out like 15 immediate red flags that they look for that are automatic no's. So you can do everything else right, but if you do any of these 15 things, it's automatic no's. And it's very simple, clear stuff. But if it's your first time submitting to the Colosseum, check out these red flags. It even adds like a little bit of some yellow flags as well of like questionable things that you should really only do if you really know what you're doing. So check that out on our resources page on Notion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really good resource. And then one of our members, Dave, also posted a thread with advice that I need to add to the resources, but it's great to look at different perspectives because at the end of the day, there are some common sort of themes as to what you should and should not do. And all of the judges also have their own individual perception and opinion. So getting to hear, all of those different perspectives is good. In terms of, I would say, okay, so how about the best pitches you've seen from past projects? What were your favorites?
Okay, I'm gonna cherry pick one.
But
I have to
just in no particular order, just a few that you've seen that you have found that might be good examples for people looking to figure out how to shape their pitch.
Sure. First thing of note, I just shared in the founders chat a few days ago a YouTube video that's about 45 minutes long, and that is all 10 pitches from the 10 winners of last year who got into the Colosseum Accelerator. So you can see the top 10 winning pitches, how they framed it, how long did they spend on it, was it fanciful, was it simple, all that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend, because you can see exactly what they're looking for. So out of 3,000 plus submissions, this is the top 10 as decided by them. Go watch that YouTube video posted in the founders chat a few days ago. One other video that stands out to me recently from last year, from last spring of the Colosseum, was our very own local guy from Toronto that ended up winning the grand championship of Colosseum last year. So he got the 50K US prize, he got into the accelerator, he got the $250,000 check, everything goes to him, and you can check out his 3-minute pitch video. And if you watch it, it is to the point, straight, no fluff, not like monotone voice, but he's just like clearly practiced every word of this pitch many, many times. And there's not that many slides, not that many words on the slides. It's a fairly technical product that he was building at the time. He's pivoted a few times, I think, even now. But you can go watch it because it's just like he clearly takes a complicated, big idea and just brings it all the way down to simple terms and clearly describes it. He does have branding on the slides as well, so he created very, very simple branding for his company, but it's not too much in your face. And so you watch that video, it's like it's great. It's a great one. It's the one that won the Grand Championship last year, and he's also from Toronto. And I hope that he stops by. If not this week, he'll probably stop by at the final sprint when we do this again in May.
Yes.
That was Zelomir's tape drive.
That's right. That was Zelomir's tape drive. I didn't want to drop the name drop, but yeah. Zelomir, Z or Zed. I'm not sure where he says his name, but he's from Toronto. And if you check out his project, Tape Drive, it's decentralized on-chain storage solutions plus some other things that he pivoted to now.
Yeah. So we had a talk with him for Cypherpunk?
Yeah.
So you can go back and watch that in the resource library.
Yeah.
There is a link to YouTube recordings from all of our past workshops. So go through that for sure. Like, I mean, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you can feed it into AI and get Spark Notes.
Yes.
But it's worth watching.
But to answer your question, that's the one that stood out to me. Thank you for the question.
Yes. And for me, I'd also like to say I enjoyed the final submission for Borify as well. Tony, who's a member of Super Team Canada. I found kind of the introduction very compelling, what they're doing in terms of like taking boring cash flow businesses and putting them on chain, and sort of maximizing your ability to hold equity, but also then get continued cash from stable businesses, because that's where continued income is coming in. It's not always on chain. And I like his hook. I'd suggest checking that one out too. And then generally we do have more pitching resources, especially for Colosseum and the 3-minute pitch. We have pitch templates. And yeah, I mean, okay, what are the biggest red flags or don'ts for you in a pitch?
The red flags or don'ts? Don't use AI generated voice for your pitch. People really want to hear your voice and your personality coming through the pitch video. The video, like the small circle video, is, I've seen optional, but like 80 to 90% people use the face video because people want to see you talking and your expressions. So no AI. And then also, you don't need to get fancy with the pitch deck either. Your 12 slides, too many words is a big no. Too long is a big no. 20 slides is way too many. You're not going to get through it. I know you asked me what don't to do, but I'm going to recommend that people actually build 3 versions of their pitch to help them really, as like a workshop, to get through what is actually important. What's your 1-minute pitch? What's your 3-minute pitch, and what's your 5-minute pitch? And you kind of figure out what are actually the 3 most important things to talk about, because sometimes, and this has happened many, many times, when you go to conferences and you go to events, you actually only get a minute in an elevator with a guy that you just happen to run into is deploying capital. You don't want to waste the time. You don't have 5 minutes. You don't have 3 minutes. You have a minute until he gets off the elevator. How do you communicate your idea clearly to a person who has no idea who you are or no context, doesn't know your socials, doesn't know your background? So like going through the workshop of that, I think, is a really good idea. And then also going over time is a big no. Don't go over 3 minutes. Don't use 1.75x speed to make it fit into the 3 minutes. People will be able to tell, like, it's really weird. I think you can actually speed up a little bit. We've had quite a few 1.25x speeds just to kind of fit it in. But, it depends on your own cadence of your own words. Like, does the actual pitch communication come across well if it is still sped up?
And if you're not sure, ask someone for feedback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll be doing a lot of pitch feedback because we're so focused on the pitch because you had those 3 minutes and that's it. If you take half an hour of someone's time to explain your idea, it's not going to cut it in the pitch video. Even if they understand after 30 minutes, they think you're the most amazing founder and this is an amazing idea, you don't have 30 minutes with the Colosseum judges, you have 3. So really we'll work pretty hard with you on what is your pitch and refining that over and over, get feedback from someone, find somebody here, be like, hey, I have a 1-minute pitch and I have a 3-minute pitch. Can I walk them both through with you right now? Because you want to do this dozens and dozens of times. You will have dozens of times to do it because it's a recorded video. You can re-record it. You can actually record it, think it's amazing, upload it a few days early before the submission deadline, and then you can change it. You can delete it and re-upload a new one if you want to, as long as it's before the submission deadline. So you have every opportunity to do this as many times as you want to. So we practice it over and over as much as possible.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with the value proposition statement is a really great way to get that 60-second pitch right. So, what problem are you solving? For who? Why? And the rest. So Google value proposition. We also have some resources about that, and there's a value proposition canvas you can use to sort of dig into, like, what am I actually solving and how is this helping people or alleviating a pain for a certain type of person. But yeah, that's a really great way to know, like, that is really all you need for your 60-second pitch. Your elevator pitch is like a little bit more than that. And then your longer versions will have more detail, but ultimately that's important. And one other thing that I think we should reiterate is they're looking for a team. They're looking at the team. They're looking at your profile. So fill out your profile on the arena. Make sure that your teammates are joining and filling out their profiles. Put in as much as you're willing to with your LinkedIn. Show off your talent and your knowledge. And if you maybe don't have as much that you feel like you can put there, just talk about why you're the right person to solve the problem. Maybe you're facing it yourself. Maybe you've been working on it for a while, you're passionate. Put it in your bio. What else?
There's one more topic I want to get into. Are we at the end of your official agenda, or can I get into another topic? Can I get into another topic?
What do you mean? How far off the topic are we?
I don't know. If I don't want to jump ahead, if we're going to be talking about it anyways, which is the relationship, like what is Super Team and how does it relate to Colosseum?
Sure.
Sure.
You know what? Go
yeah.
For
So what
it.
do you? Yeah. I guess if you guys are new here, what the heck is Super Team doing? Supporting builders for this Colosseum global startup competition, and how does that relationship work? So right now there's 26 super teams around the world, all based in specific countries. Super Team UK, Super Team Japan, Super Team Germany, and of course Super Team Canada. And we are all tasked with supporting founders in the ecosystem and then kind of funneling as much as we can the top talent towards the Colosseum. And we all want our country to perform the best out of all 26. We want to get as many winners from Canada as possible to beat out friendly competition from Germany, from the UK. And so we're directly focused on helping as many Canadians as possible win the Colosseum startup competition. That's kind of how this works with the kind of the global stage. So our incentive is to help you win, which is why we're kind of giving you as much information as possible to kind of Super Team as a cheat code is kind of the motto of this is how we help you. And Colosseum also keeps it very close and say, okay, who is this person? And they see, oh, this person's been going to every single Super Team event, every single workshop, been posting about it, been engaged with the community. That sets you above all the rest of the people who aren't engaged with the community, who aren't coming out to events, who aren't coming to workshops, who aren't learning and engaged in the ecosystem. They don't really understand or know many of the founders in their country. If you're able to kind of prove that you have a long history of social engagement, that kind of helps you pushed above, and it helps. I mean, that's what all the other super teams are doing as well. They're all hosting similar style events, build stations, kickoff events, workshops with all the founders in their ecosystem as well. We're all in competition to win. In the past, we've been performing pretty well as a country. We did get the grand championship once last year. The most recent fall one of 2025, I think we got 2 winners and 1 honorable mention. But when there's only 25 or 30 winners globally, that's pretty good to be in the top percentage of some of the super teams. So we're hoping to replicate that again and get as many super team Canadians to win the competition. Yes.
How does Colosseum relate to the foundation?
So the history is that I believe Colosseum used to be within the Solana Foundation. And then I think 4 or so years ago, it became an offshoot organization, kind of like Super Team became like an offshoot of the Solana Foundation. Yes.
And then in terms of Super Team and Super Team Canada, we have support for all hackathon teams, but we also have a special program for the most promising teams competing in the hackathon or the Frontier competition. And so Spark North the applications are open. You can apply to get a dedicated mentor, AWS credits, other credits from some of our members, and other ecosystem teams, which are to be announced very soon. And that is a great way to really level up what you're doing. So if you go to the superteam.ca website, there's a Spark North button, and you can apply there. It's okay if your idea isn't fully firmed up. Just put more effort into the who are you and why are you passionate about this? What's your experience? Part of the application. And yeah, we're excited to support all of the Canadian teams as always.
Yeah. There's Spark North is a very good accelerator that only we are organizing within Canada. It's not part of the other super team networks, and it is like a pre-accelerator program to get you into the Colosseum accelerator. We kind of just try to help funnel as many of the high potential people through the program. There's also a bunch of other funds that are available if you're interested in applying for them. I believe they just released like a $200 AI fund. You can just apply for $200 USD to get credits for any AI